Hello, it's Mike Binder. It's episode 24 of Stand Up World, the podcast. Thank you for joining us. We have a good episode for you. A lot going on. We're going to talk about Whitney Cummings and her rebranding and rebooting of the comedy roast. She's done an amazing job. We're going to talk about Erica Rhodes and her special on YouTube, Sad Lemon. We're going to talk about Jeremiah Watkins' special on YouTube, Daddy. And we're going to talk about a few other things, all up on standupworld.com. And we're going to also talk about my appearance at the Ice House in Pasadena next Saturday, April 8th, with some special guests. But first, we're going to talk about my kids, who are just two woke monsters. Grown-up woke monsters, woke broke, the woking dead, my kids, as I call them. They're good kids. They got big hearts. They just bleed for every group, the LGBTQ, WKRP, BLM, KFC crowd. And they spend every day telling me which group I've offended. Dad, you cannot call them Eskimos. You hurt their feelings when you call them Eskimos, Dad. They want to be called Inuits. I said, kids, I live in Santa Monica, California. I've never met an Eskimo. How do you know I've hurt their feelings? Have you ever met an Eskimo? You live in Southern California. How do you know they want to be called In-N-Outs? Why would they want to be named after a burger joint? I don't understand this. But they do, my kids. They feel for everybody. God bless them. They were well raised. They were well raised, my kids. But they're weird. You know, they grew up. My daughter's so sensitive. She grew up in Pacific Palisades, California, in the heart of Okinawa, you know? Every now and then I'll be leaving the comedy store. I'll call her. I'll go, oh, sweetie, you should have seen this show tonight. I wish you were there. There was just the funniest little Negro comedian. Daddy, don't say that. Why are you saying? Oh, what did I say? I'm sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, and there was this little midget comedian, honey. He's so funny. Dad, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? Little gay comedian that you'd have loved. Oh, you gay guys are so smart and intelligent. There was a little plaid comic. I just like to just watch her just explode on the phone. But I love my kids. I really do. My son's got a girlfriend, a little white girl named Karen. No, I've told her she's got to change her name. Can't bring her around. She's got to change her name. White girl named Karen right now is just too volatile. Your name is Karen and you're a white girl right now. Everybody's ready to just explode around you. Just ready to pop off on you. White girl named Karen can't even have an opinion about anything. I think this is a fantastic piece of pie. Oh, fuck you, Karen. What do you know about pie? You just said pie back 1,000 years, you dumb bitch. But what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Son followed me into show business. I said, couldn't you have gotten a job with one of these drug cartels? Something solid, something with a future. I sent him to college in Boston and study acting. I said, you know what? I could have just taken my money out of the bank and burned it $20 at a time for 4 years while you were back there. He came back after 4 years with a drinking problem. I said, you know, you could have learned that here in LA. I could have set you up with some guys down there in Skid Row. You could have been down in Skid Row and I'd have a lake house right now. Instead, I'm the proud father of waiter number 11 in Mission Impossible 5. My chest swells when that hand comes in and puts the bread roll down in front of the antagonist plate in the big restaurant scene. But there's a little part of me that says, why couldn't my son's hand have placed the bread roll in front of Tom Cruise? That hand that gave Tom Cruise the bread roll, it didn't look real. It looked phony. My son's hand would have been so much better. But my kids, it's a different life growing up in California. It really is. I always wanted them to have jobs, you know. When they were in high school, my wife wanted nothing to do with that. She was like, no, they're in high school. They can't have jobs. So I had jobs in high school. She said, no. I said, well, why can't they do something on the weekend? Why can't, he get a lawnmower and go door to door and try to cut people's lawns? She said, well, in our neighborhood, we have these great Mexican companies that do it. You're going to take work from them? I said, well, what, can he go door to door and clean cars? That's what I did. That's something I did. He said, no, the Armenians do that out here, and we're not taking jobs from them. So, well, how about if he just goes downtown and blows businessmen in the alley? Is he going to take jobs from the heroin addicts? Is that going to bother you? Your values are all messed up, honey. In Detroit, I had a job when I was 14. I was the busboy's assistant at a Chinese restaurant when I was 14. You know the restaurant's doing well when the busboy has an assistant. But my friend Michael Fishman worked as the busboy at the restaurant, and some nights they would get too busy and he couldn't unload his big trays fast enough. So he talked to the owner, Mr. Yin, said, hey, can I get my friend Mike Binder to come and help me unload the trays, and I'll pay him out of my tips. And Mr. Yin said, no problem. Mike, get your little Jew bastard friend, bring him in. By the way, if I had done that joke or routine, whatever, 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, Mr. Yin would have said, no problem, Mike. Yeah, you bring your friend. I'll be in back room playing pachinko. You bring the Jew bastard. But in today's world, the Chinese owner of the restaurant in 1974 in Detroit sounds like he's from Nantucket. No problem, Mike Fishman. You bring your little Jew bastard friend in. We'll give him a job. 14 and all. But that's life. The world changes, and we all move with it. It's okay. I do want to say there's a piece up on Stand Up World right now about Whitney Cummings' OnlyFans Roast of Bert Kreischer. Whitney Cummings presents. The roast has been rebooted from the days of the Friars Clubs to Dean Martin's roasts, to the Comedy Central roasts, to Jeff Ross's roasts in the Comedy Store, the roast battles. And now Whitney Cummings has rebooted them again. And she's done a bang-up job. It's pretty crazy. Here's the trailer.
This is the greatest night of my life! You guys ready? For real? Via satellite, it's Tom Segura.
that belt buckle's been hurting for so long.
We're doing comedy on OnlyFans.
It's disgusting. You know how hard it is to be the most embarrassing person from Florida?
Like we're gonna die young. This will be the best night of our lives. I've wanted to do this for a very long time. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Oh, thank you.
She's done a great job. She's done a really great job. It's a great show. I mean, Whitney's a hell of a producer, I have to say. She's crazy. She's out of her mind, Whitney. But she's done a great job. And Trevor Wallace was a YouTube sensation where you think, well, how good is he going to do in this crowd? But he did a great job. He just stepped up to the plate and proved that he belonged in that crowd. Tony Hinchcliffe, who's just a master. He just destroyed. He's just the king. He's a star. Jim Norton was great. Big J. Okerson, fantastic. I'll tell you, Rachel Feinstein was unbelievable. Unbelievable. She like, as she said, she's not in that Kreischer, Cummings, Rogan Comedy Store, LA scene bubble, and she used that all in a really kind of masterful way and just tore Bert apart. Bert was so loaded. He said at the screening that he didn't remember even anything of the night, but it was great. It's on OnlyFans starting tomorrow morning, April 1st, and it's great. Just go check it out. Whitney not only rebooted the roast, but she's starting a whole new. She kicked the door open. On OnlyFans, she's starting a new world for comedians. She's pretty incredible. You know, like I say, she just goes at a different speed of everyone else. She's a little nuts, but boy, I have so much respect for her. I love Whitney. Check it out. OnlyFans. The Roast for Bert Kreischer, Whitney Cummings presents. Also, one of my favorite comedians, Erica Rhodes, has a special up that was from her album from 2019 called Sad Lemon that she shot at a club up in Portland. Wonderful special. Wonderful. She's so talented, so smart. Like I say, she reminds me of a cross between Joan Allen and young Susan St. James. She's so charismatic and has Stephen Wright kind of energy and writing capability. And you got to check this out. It's on YouTube. It's free. Check it out and follow her on her Instagram and on her YouTube channel. Here's a little piece of her that I put up together, just 4 or 5 of her best stuff. My favorite jokes, not her best, but stuff I like the best.
Did have an audition the other day to play a Swedish secretary. Pretty big part, right? Pretty big part. So there are like a lot of blondes in the waiting room, and I overheard this Japanese guy say, "They all look the same." And I was like, dude, that's racist. And he goes, blonde isn't a race. See, this is where the dumb blonde stereotype comes from. And I was like, hold on. I thought all Japanese guys love blonde girls. And he goes, I'm Filipino. It's like, you're such an idiot. I didn't ask for your name. My mom is very proud of me, though. She's a very supportive mother. Probably too much, actually. I probably have, strange parents. They're so supportive. She was like, honey, I'm just so relieved you were never involved with Harvey Weinstein. She's like, I know you weren't because I told your father if she had been, she'd be a lot more successful. Then she was like, Erica, you know who you're like? You're just like Grandma. Because you're in a male-dominated profession with stand-up comedy, and Grandma was in a male-dominated profession with aeronautical engineering. I was like, yeah, we're pretty much the same person, except one of us was very good at math, and the other owns one towel. Weird year for men, right? Strange year for men. Wasn't a great year to be a creepy male comic. So it wasn't a great year to be a male comic. So it wasn't a great year to be a male. That's what I'm saying. I think it's soon going to be the Who's Left movement, right? Is anyone left? Did anybody not do something inappropriate? I guess what shocked me the most about the whole movement this year is that we were so shocked by the fact that men are gross. Right? Like, that was one of the first things I learned as a kid. You know? Eat your broccoli, men are gross. And then suddenly this year we all woke up every morning and we were like, did you hear? Did you hear another man was gross again? We fought about the dumbest stuff, too. We fought about the show Catfish once. Have you guys seen that show? Catfish? Yeah. Well, apparently, I was talking during the important parts of Catfish. And if you've seen Catfish and you think there are important parts in Catfish, you are part of the problem. He was competitive with me. That was one problem. Like, one time, just out of the blue, he goes, you know, you're not smarter than me. And I was like, it's actually smarter than I am. And then he said, well, between you and I finished college and you didn't. And I was like, it's actually between you and me. And then he said, you and I are done. And I was like, you got that one right. Friend wanted to get lunch recently, but she's like, I'm vegan now. I was like, oh, here we go with that whole phase. I was like, do you want to go to Cafe Gratitude? It's a vegan restaurant in LA. And she's like, well, I'm also gluten-free, so can we go to the juice bar? And I was like, how about we just never speak again? I have a friend who's sober, but she smokes pot. And I'm like, isn't that like saying you're celibate, but you have sex in the dark? That seems like cheating to me, you know? But she's always trying to get me to, you know, she's like convinced that pot is the answer. She really thinks that I should really get into pot. And the way she talks about pot is exactly how people talk about men. To me, she's like, you just haven't found the right one. You know? It's out there. You're trying sativa. You need to try indica. You're dating comics. You need to date accountants. I'm like, no, they all make me tired and depressed. All of them.
Erica Rhodes, Sad Lemon. Also, another guy who I really am impressed with, always have been since he was the band guy, crazy band guy for Kill Tony at the Comedy Store, Jeremiah Watkins. And now he's got like 5 of his own shows and podcasts all over YouTube. And he's just a great stand-up comic. He put up his own special, Daddy. Here's a little piece of that.
When my wife and I brought this baby into our lives, we instantly became peasants. What can I get you? Lord. Anything. Anything at all. Are you tired? Take my sleep. Are you hungry, sire? Take my wife's teat.
Jeremiah Watkins, Daddy. You can get it on YouTube, or you can read a little piece about it on standupworld.com. And that's it. I do want to remind you, this Saturday, I'm at the Ice House in the big room, 8 p.m., the early show, with my buddy Vinny Fastline, Dave Murphy, few special guests popping in that I think you'll be excited to see. It's going to be a great show. Come on down. Really would appreciate the support and love to see you. We're going to put on a great show for you. I love the Ice House. It's one of America's greatest comedy clubs in Pasadena. It's got so much history. And Jimmy Buss, Jerry Buss's son, bought it and did an amazing job remodeling it. Come on down. Check out. If you haven't seen the new Ice House, it just opened. Check it out. Saturday, April 8th, 8 p.m. And that's it. Episode 24, Stand Up World, the podcast. Follow me. Follow us here at the official Mike Binder. Check out my Instagram at the Mike Binder. And go see, you can check me out on Apple and Spotify. Make sure you like it and follow and star it and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know the drill. Help out. You're great. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. See you soon. Love you.